those mornings that I'm already challenged with mega, potentially anxiety and triggering like shit. I hope the audio is okay. I'm driving. I just got done with the gym. I live in Los Angeles, so all the gyms are closed in the Los Angeles because of the lockdown. I drive an hour each way to Fullerton because the Fullerton gyms are open. Obviously, I wear a mask and they take all the proper precautions for the social distancing and all that. So that's all good. So this week has been pretty challenging because I have a bunch of projects going on, a couple deadlines. I'm just working more than I've been. This morning, my building, it's a brand new building, but they've had like a few like really maintenance things they need to fix, like the garage door to the public garage where we all park our cars. It doesn't have a sensor, so if you drive out, you better drive out all the way to the street or else it's gonna like come down on you. One of my neighbors, it came down on her and it broke her glass windshield, right? They told the building management, who like doesn't respond very quick, which I totally understand because I know it's, you know, the pandemic's going on. They probably are dealing with a lot of, you know, people that can't pay the rent or whatever. So I'm sure they've got their hands full. But however, it's kind of important. Like the garage door doesn't have a sensor, and then, you know, there's a lot of cars. I thought they fixed it. Apparently not. Good thing I drove almost all the way out, but it came down on my Beamer, like on the back of my car this morning. And so of course I emailed them and like there's no response. So that is, and you know, as a perfectionist, I know a lot of you guys will relate. It's just really hard to deal with one thing after another. You know, I know this is a control issue. That is a trigger for me because, you know, as a perfectionist, you want to control everything, and you know, little things that just bugs you if they're not done right. And I have to say, like, nothing annoys me more. And to preface this, I am working on this part of myself for a long time, and it's still going to take some work, but it is my personality that I'm trying to retrain. So I have the hardest time dealing with foreseeing issues that's going to happen and go out of my way and do all that I can to prevent, to communicate, and yet stupid shit still happen and stupid people still like do stupid shit, and then I get to suffer the consequences of being related in a project or in a situation. Anyways, this is all me talking out of in the moment anger. I know when I have time to process all this, I will sit, be present with it, and I'll let a lot of it go and process a lot of it, and it'll probably end up turning into, you know, not that big a deal. Like, it only kind of scratched my car. I could probably go and get some kind of, you know, I could probably fix it with not that much. And even if it's more, it's fine. I can fix it. It's a car. I love my car, but it's a car. You know, all my projects are going to get done. They always have gotten done. So, yes, I'm trying really hard to remind myself in a moment. It's still not easy. Anyways, these new videos that I'm doing are all about just in the moment, me sharing parts of my life that allows you to kind of relate and get reassurance on, you know, now that I'm fully recovered, I'm really actually opening a brand new chapter of working on a lot of core stuff that needs to be addressed with myself so that I can continue this full recovery and never relapse into like a health crash again. I'm gonna try this out. I'm going to be sharing like throughout my daily life, my challenges with anxiety, my OCD. All right, so now, okay, it's been like, I've been driving for 15 minutes. I'm back in Los Angeles now, and I've had some time to do some box breathing and calm myself down because I was quite worked up because of all that drama that I kind of allowed myself to experience. But hey, I'm only human, so I can't be always on top of everything and, you know, enlightened all the time or whatever and choose the high road. But I do try my best, so that's all I can do. So now I'm back. Like I said, did some deep breathing. Mentally kind of let a lot of that go. I obviously cannot control what has already happened. And I'm actually on my way because I planned that after the gym, I was going to go take my car to see what they can do to fix it. So, and that will kind of check that off the top of my head, you know, so it's not like one of those OCD things where it's just sitting on your head like, you gotta fix the imperfection on your car, gotta fix your imperfection on your car. I know if I had to, I can also work on to let that go, but today I have time, a little bit of time, so I'm going to actually take some action with that and get that out of my mental space, because I do have a few more appointments today that are super tight, and I'm somewhat, you know, nervous about my schedule because it's so tight today, and with everything that isn't flowing perfectly. Again, it's just one of those days, one of those weeks, and it's not like I haven't been here before. So I just keep reminding myself that one thing at a time, and because perfection is not worth ever having that health imbalance again. So recently I've been playing a lot of tennis like I used to. I'm really happy about that. However, when I play this much tennis, it's just the amount and the intensity I play at. I do get injured. I get these like chronic overuse injuries. I'm ready for these injuries. It's not like the end of the world, but they are, you know, a pain, and I need to treat them. So what I'm gonna use is I'm gonna first use actually this. Oh, so my injuries are, my shoulder injury is almost finished. I mean, it's like almost healed. But the more recent is I have some tendonitis in my left wrist because I have a double-handed backhand, and I take a lot of balls on my backhand. So then this joint right here gets overused. And then I also kind of tweaked my right ankle because I was playing with my dog, and it just, I went on a wrong angle. So it's a little tender. So what I'm gonna do is first, just kind of a overall like myofascia release with the foam roller, and then I'll isolate a few spots on my back, because sometimes you work on your back and it releases the tensions in your shoulder. So I'm gonna use that for my shoulder area, and probably just use my hand and massage out my wrist area, and use my favorite tool, the massage gun, around my ankle to kind of loosen that area and just get the muscles, you know, relaxed and loosened up. And then I will apply a mixture of arnica cream and the CBD that I love from Realign. I'll put this, I mix them together myself in my hand, and I'm just gonna apply it to the areas that is really injured. Guys, you'd be so surprised at like how effective these home treatments, if you do them consistently, they work really, really well. It's just like a part of my daily routine when I need them. I mean, when I need to do these to kind of rehab myself, or just as a staple to feel better and have my body more balanced, more flexible, make sure that my
muscles are relaxed. It's very, very helpful. And for those of you who are still recovering from the adrenal fatigue and health crash, I totally recommend getting on some type of self-treatment like this. Pretty much you could start doing it after the initial crash phase. Always the first phase of the crash, I would just recommend rest, eat, and just try to get sleep and recovery. But pretty much after that, you could start to apply these type of self-treatments. I have tons of video on it, so if you feel free to check them out if you're interested. I often remind myself, it's a privilege to have that natural ability to cope with stress. 2 years ago, when I was in my health imbalance, health crash, if I were to get an injury, first of all, I couldn't even play tennis. But if I were to get like an injury, it would just be so much stress on my body. I would just be like passed out for a week or something. And now it's like I'm back and I could actually enjoy and play my sports and, get injured, and my body naturally heals itself, with time and care, but it actually doesn't overwhelm me because I can cope with stress again. And that is so huge when you're trying to come back from that health crash thing, that you start to realize like what a gift you had before you damaged yourself. So those of you who have gotten the full recovery, I'm sure you understand and appreciate this something that we take for granted. A lot of us take for granted anyways. So yeah, I just wanted to emphasize, like, I always think back on how miserable and awful it was. And now that I've fully recovered, just the simplest things, like be able to just function and handle stress and be okay, it is a privilege. So yeah. So I'm doing a little fruit and granola bowl. I just played, I think it was like 5 hours of tennis. It is Sunday in LA. I am so happily tired. I love tennis. So hungry, super hungry, not starving, but I am ready to eat. I feel like my body is telling me I need more carbs to kind of replenish more than protein right now. And so I'm gonna so granola bowl sounds really good. So I'm gonna do some granola, some frozen watermelon, and some blueberries, mix it in with some, I think I'm gonna do almond milk and some honey and cinnamon, and I'll just put that together and I'll show you. That's it. It's so easy. It's like eating a big bowl of shaved ice. It's very satisfying, and I love how refreshing it is. Like, it's so hot here today, even though it's supposed to be winter. And I am, sweating. I was super hot, and it's so refreshing. And then it has all the complex carbs and the sugar I need to replenish. And then a good amount of protein in there as well from the almond milk, and the granola has a high protein granola, the one I'm using. So I'm gonna enjoy this.
A few days later, my car situation, the whole garage door on my car, turned out to be fine. So when I took my car in, it was just pretty minor, so they could actually use like a buffer with wax, and it'll remove the scratches. All the other issues that I was really stressed out about just kind of worked itself out, like it always does. It's not something new, but in the moment, you know, guys, it's so easy to get wrapped up and just charged up. So I was really happy that, again, I was able to catch myself and I didn't allow myself to kind of get escalated stress and just heightened emotions, which is, we all know, it's not good for just our well-being and our hormones and our just health. It is always an ongoing journey with this because, you know, just that's the way it is. So yeah, that's a quick little update.
Hi guys, so it is Sunday afternoon. It's finally my chill time. I've had quite a week. I was able to do a lot and my workouts are great. I'm still pushing my workouts more and more, getting myself back into the peak fitness shape since my full recovery from the health imbalance. And I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about my next mental health focus, which is something I've been challenged with and struggled with throughout my life. This is before my health crash issue. And I've mentioned in a couple of videos, but I've been so focused on just the, you know, adrenal fatigue and the burnout, that health hormonal imbalance crash, I haven't really gotten to dive into the OCD that I have had since I think I was like 12. And again, for those of you who don't know, OCD stands for obsessive compulsive disorder, and that could sound like a really freaky, serious thing, but it really isn't. I mean, it kind of is, but it really isn't, to be honest. It's in the same family of like a type of anxiety disorder, which is like, so those of us who struggles with it or is challenged with it, like the way we cope with anxiety and stress is we create certain mental rituals, and they could manifest just mentally or it can come out like physically. For instance, me personally, I count a lot. So I count my steps, and this is given that I'm really stressed out and I'm getting the triggers of the OCD. So, and throughout different times of my life, my symptoms of OCD can be more severe, it could be more mild. There were like years of my life where they almost didn't exist. Throughout the years, I've really learned that it has to do with my stress level. But the funny thing is, when I had the health imbalance and my stress level was beyond, it was ironic that it was like I didn't have time for OCD because I was just hit in the face with recovering from the health crash that, I mean, the OCD issues were just pushed to the side. Like I just had to get through that first. Throughout my life, I've worked on it and focused on kind of healing myself and recovering, or I guess recover wouldn't be the right word for OCD, but kind of being able to manage it and be more functional. I was very lucky. I don't have the super intense kinds, even though there were a few periods of my life where they were pretty intense. But it was never the complete like the kind where you just can't function. There's people out there who struggle with it so severely that it's really hard for them to function. I was lucky that, yes, it's a stressor, but I was able to still, you know, I've done a lot and I was able to be highly functional on it. But nevertheless, throughout the years, I wanted to gradually heal, you know, like just rebalance myself from it. As the best I can. Maybe I can't completely get rid of it, but maybe I think I'd still improve on it more. So I noticed that once I've made my full recovery, it was like, okay, now my brain has space. So then the OCD habits kind of creep back more and more because that's kind of where I left it before my health crash. That's definitely something I'm working on and focusing on now that I am fully recovered and my life is good as far as that health imbalance issue. So now I am definitely focusing on that. So it's been good. So what I've been doing is just first, and this is what I just planned out for myself, it's to just really be more aware of it. I mean, I'm generally very aware, but I am really focusing on being aware of it when my triggers come up. Take time to, again, be present and choosing not to just go into this obsessive routine that I do to cope with stress. So I've given some examples in other videos. I've done a few videos, maybe 2, on my channel on OCD and my experience with it. And those are just like 2 very, small experiences. I've had a lifetime almost of experience with OCD. There's a lot of actually funny moments when I look back because, like for instance, I count my steps, right? So one of the triggers is once I get stressed out, then I start counting in my head like my steps. So, and I have this rule, which is also part of the ritual that I've created. And it's all about control, because OCD is because you're stressed because you feel like you don't have control over everything, which none of us do. And, it's just that it's hard for those of us or it's especially hard for those of us who have the OCD to accept that we don't have control. So then instead of, really looking into that, we try to control these made up rituals that we have in our head. So it gives us like a sense of control, which is not long lasting, because then you're just gonna go from one ritual to the next, because there's a lot of things in life that we can't control. So anyways, so one of the things I do is that I count my steps in my head, and depending on the day, like I'll pick, and then again, these are rules that I set up for myself. So let's say today I picked even numbers. So I would have to exit rooms at an even number steps. So I would, like walk like 1, 2, 3, 4. Like these are like let's say that's me walking. So it'd be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so the 6th step I've got to exit the room, and I would just plan it that way. Like I would walk in accordance to the numbers I'm counting in my head. Now, for those of you who do not have this OCD condition, it would sound so bizarre, but I'm sure there's going to be those of you who share the same struggles, and when I tell you this, you're going to be like, oh my God, yes, I understand that. So yes, and I also had this ritual where I don't like to sit where corners of the rooms are pointing at. So let's say, there's corners in rooms, right? So like where 2 walls meet, that makes like a corner. So I would try to sit where the corners don't point straight at me, because in my mind there were these like lines that were coming out of the corners of the room, like imaginary lines that would be like geometrically pointing at me, right? And I didn't like that with the OCD ritual. So I would have to sit, I would take in consideration into all the corners. And again, it's so irrational, because obviously if you calculate every corner in a room, it'd be really hard to find a place. But my mind would just pick a certain corners that were like the important corners that I would have to avoid. So let's say I'm going to a movie theater, I would have to pick a seat in a theater where I could justify to myself that, okay, no lines are pointing at me from the corners, and then I would be like more relaxed. It's so bizarre how it's like your mind, with OCD, it's like your mind creates stress to solve it, to bring you relaxation, when you could just choose to be relaxed, right? Easier said than done. And I'm better and better at it. Obviously, I've struggled with this. I've been challenged with this for many years. I've gotten really good at managing it, and I've gotten really good at releasing a lot of it, so my life becomes more and more and more functional. I'm super happy with it. I totally embrace it as part of me. There was a period where I was like, whoa, I am so fucked up. Not only have I had such a challenging, life so far in my childhood and yada, 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 now I've got to deal with this thing, which is bizarre to most people, and oh my God. But I've just learned that, you know what? It's a part of me, just like, I'm good at piano or I'm good at tennis. It's just something that is dealt to me, and I just had to accept it and kind of create my life with it. And it gets better, and it doesn't really take away anything, and it's not, I don't see it as a handicap or anything. It's more challenging in certain ways, but I'm sure everyone in the world has some kind of challenges of their own, and a lot of them might be kept secret that you may not see as the outsider, but it's just one of those things. So I just accepted it. I just thought it'd be a great topic for me to start sharing, along with these videos that I'm doing, kind of just impromptu life kind of vlog style videos again, where I'm talking about the stress management and then the fitness and health and how that relates to completely healing, or if you're in the middle of healing from the health crash recovery. And I wanted to go ahead and address a very common mental struggle condition, OCD, that a lot of people probably are going through. And I just want to be open and show you guys that I'm pretty happy with my life, I'm pretty happy with myself, and I do struggle with that, and I still continue to have I'm way better, but I still do. I have challenges with that, and that I'm just day by day being okay with it. And I thought that might be a great inspiration for those of you who might be in a very struggling moment with it, and maybe find this video and it could give you some kind of inspiration, and maybe you'll put a smile on your face, just because I'm gonna start to talk about a lot of these funny rituals and experiences that I'm having. So anyways, God, my nose is so itchy. I think my dog's shitting. This is, I'm sure you guys know from my other videos, this one is Apollo. I have two dogs, and this one is Thor. So, he doesn't like to be held. He likes to be like away. Anyways, so, and this one is like such an attention whore. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed my videos. This will be the new kind of format. You guys, I hope you find some cool, interesting stuff. And please follow me, or not follow me, sorry. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so, to help me keep growing my channel. And share my content if you think other people might benefit from the information or find it entertaining. And yeah, give me a thumbs up if you're liking my videos, and let me know what you think down in the comments below. I really appreciate all of y'all's support and love, and the PayPal donations as well. So thank you so much, and feel free to reach out via my Instagram direct message or my direct email, and you can check out my website, which has my written out story of my health recovery, and everything on YouTube gets doubled up over there, as well as I write out certain like handwritten posts on health and fitness and self-optimization. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys on the next video. Bye.